episode 49. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Now Lord says, Na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam yojayet sarva karmane vidvan yukta samacharan. He says that the wise people should not mislead those who are ignorant, karma sanginam, who are attached to actions, who are attached to momentary pleasures, and these worldly people at large, and there are people who claim to lead them. Lord is advising them that those who know little more than those who don't know should not mislead. And that is what we have been talking about. Our leaderships and all those who claim to lead us are actually misleading us, misdirecting us, and Lord is advising them that you should not try to mislead those who are ignorant, who are attached to karmas or the worldly people. But Yojeshet sarva karmani, they should lead them in every action. Vidvan yukta samacharan, a wise man should himself practice what he needs his followers to follow. Parents must practice what they need their children to follow. The CEO of a company needs to practice what his people in the company needs to follow him. Political leader, religious leader, all of them need to practice what they want their followers to practice. That is why saints usually uh, don't bother about teaching as much as practicing what they do, and they can learn from their practice rather than talking. We do too much talking and very little practice in the world. This is one of the problems we are facing today, that people who have problems, they first of all go to those guys who themselves don't know the solutions. And when we try to give some solutions, these ignorant masses don't want to solve their problems. I have met many people who will argue in million different ways, defending their ignorance, defending their disease, defending their suffering, their problems between husband and wife in the families, but they will not want to correct it when we show them the advice. They won't listen to what we are saying them to get rid of it. But they want to defend why it is so and always blame the other party, but they just don't want to put in practice. So Lord is putting a lot of stress on practicing what we preach rather than just talking. We should not give false hopes. That's what Lord says here. The wise people should not give false hopes through superstition and through rituals that you will reach to heaven where there is no heaven. Giving them false hopes through the rituals is leading the ignorant masses into more ignorance. That is what Lord wants us to know, that wise people, people who have realized, they are more interested in practicing and see, like a rose does not have to talk about its fragrance, the fragrance just goes by itself. The sun doesn't want to say that I am giving you light and energy, is giving it out. Similarly, if all our leaders and all our wise people will try to practice what they are saying, and that's why Mahatma Gandhi and all Mirabai just showed right away when she says, Mat tat bhat bandhu apano na koi, when she said, none of them belongs to me, father, mother, brothers, sisters, relatives, she just left and went away. But we talk one thing and we do something else. This is one of our problems. Even for the worldly people, it is important to say what we exactly mean, and we try to understand for our own good. We want to remember one thing. All this is to remove our problems. If we have no problem, you don't have to go to doctor, you don't have to go to God. Arjun does not have to go to Krishna, and Krishna has no problem if nobody comes to him. He has plenty to do himself. So it is when we are sick we go to doctor. We are trying to find out how we can improve the quality of our life, how we can be more happy. how we can be discriminative so in this world of ignorance or Maya we don't get deceived, because everywhere deception is there. The whole Maya is deceptive. Lord is telling us that it is deceptive. But at the same time, Lord says, I have given you intellect so that you can use your intellect, try to understand right and wrong, ask the people who know, evaluate for yourself, look at your own experience, and then execute. So these are some of the things where worldly people want to be careful, as well as the leaders should be also vigilant that they don't try to deceive people, but show them only by their practice and experience rather than mere talk. The next slok, Lord says, slok 27 and 28 goes together. It says, Prakrutehe kriyamanani gunaihi karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartamiti manyate. Slok 27 says that it is the creation and the actions or karmas within creation and its nature is performing all the actions. But the egotistic man who is dull witted, he doesn't have intelligence, no matter how much he is educated, he is uneducated if he has ego, and we would like to know who doesn't have ego today, no matter how much education we have. And here Lord says, those who are egotistic, karta ahamiti, and think that I am the doer, that I am the leader, that without me nothing will happen, whether it's family or country or anywhere, in religion also, that without me the religion won't work, or the organization won't work, or people won't find good their guidance. All this is nothing but egoism. Karta aham iti manyate. Those who think that I am the doer, I am the leader, I am the messenger of God, these people are nothing but egotistic. The, the real advice that Mirabai gave us, that we should become servant. That's the end of it. We are not doer, we are servant. Let God advise us what to do, and we don't turn or lift even a blade of grass without God asking us to do it. That kind of self surrender is what we need, and if we will surrender to God, then that means we'll surrender our ego. Then we will realize that we have become one with God. We don't have to do much. We don't have too many duties, and what we were looking for, that peace and joy, we would have found within us. So when we say the creation is the doer, in other words, like the sun is doing, let's think about the creation. What would happen to us if there was no sun? What would happen to us if there was no ocean? What would happen to us if there were no trees? What would happen if there was no earth? And has any human being or all of us combined have created the sun? Have any one of us created the ocean? Have any one of us created even one tree? So, Lord says that I have created all these things for you. You are dependent on this. I have even created you with these five elements. And yet we think that we are the doer, that without me nothing will have, as if the whole world will collapse. We are carrying the burden of the whole world on our shoulder, while we know that we cannot breathe even for a second without Lord's help and His creation. So when he says that the creation is the doer, what he means is that we cannot do without the sun, the moon, the water, the earth, and all. Then we should be very humble that every God is such a intelligent and compassionate that He has created all these things. He has created the same element in us, and because of that we are able to breathe, work, and live and enjoy life. So we should be very humble, as a matter of fact, when we have this recognition. Yet even the scientists, they try to investigate something about moon. They cannot create the moon. They cannot create milk even. Cow can create milk, but they cannot. And yet they analyze milk, the scientists, and then they say, oh, we have done a great research, and take the credit as if they have made the milk, or we have found out the galaxies. But nobody said who put the galaxy there in the first place. Even in finding out, which is in itself very uh, incomplete knowledge, and yet we give so much importance to scientists and engineers, but we never question the elementary thing, that who has done all this thing in the first place. Have we given enough respect? And why don't we start using what he has given rather than finding out why and what and where? This is the thing we are wasting our time. Don't question why the sun is there. Don't question where the moon is there. Just say, what do I do with this energy I am getting? What do I do with these fruits I have? Don't say why God made a tree and why He made a mango and how did He make a mango. And yet, all the scientists, all our knowledge is simply running into circles like frogs in a well, and we say that we are doing research, we have found out something. As a matter of, we haven't found nothing. We would be lucky if we just pray to the Lord, thank you, and we find the right use of the material He has given. But our ego does not allow us to understand that Lord has done and I must subdue my ego and just accept what He has done and enjoy it and do according to His law. Yet we want to become God ourselves, or we think we are intelligent. All these things is due to ego. So Lord says, the egotistic man who is dull-witted, he hasn't got the intellect, is dull. eh, He is the dull who thinks that he is the doer, he is the teacher, he is the leader, he is the mother, he is the father. They do not know who the father is, who the mother is, and who is the real teacher. God is the teacher of teacher, God is mother of mother, God is father of father, and yet when we enter a house of a host, and when he is gone maybe for a few minutes, if we start stealing in his house while we are guests, it is the same thing. We are all guests on this earth. We are all visitors. We are here for a small time, and yet we try to rob it, and we want to hide, and yet we don't recognize that we are here robbing somebody else. It's the creation we are robbing, and we are ruining our own good. So if man really thinks, and it doesn't take too much intelligence, I don't know why we need to understand scientific books and mathematics when we simply say, yes, we know God has made, we never understood how He has made, we all admit it is infinite, it is beyond understanding, and yet we go on and on and on creating instruments, try to find it, and then we come to a conclusion that it means nothing. I know an incident where all the religious leaders in Bombay, they met to decide the birthday of Sri Ramchandra. And all over India they came, 3 weeks of seminars, and I don't know how many millions of rupees they may have spent, and long lectures on the podium, as Mahatma Gandhi used to say. All the lectures, and then they found out, well, we cannot decide when he really was born. And some people even wonder if he was ever born or which Ram they are talking about. But we just cannot. We have to continue our stupidity. We deceive people who are ignorant, who are gullible, who are themselves wanting something for nothing, and the leaders are no better than them. We deserve the type of leader we elect or select. So this is what Gita has come here to guide us, that we should not be deceived or misguided. Just listen to this and use your own intelligence. It doesn't require much, and we'll find that we will have solutions. Gita is the Guru. I am glad that the Sikh Dharma have finally decided that their Granth is their Guru, because they were up against people, that these two-handed fellows who were trying to make themselves the gurus and the gods, and they wanted to worship. So I think Guru Nanak or somebody decided that you forget about a human being as a guru. Just this book, Granth Sahib, is your guru. So now they worship the guru, and of course we want to make sure that we don't worship just the book and keep it on our head, but what he meant was read properly, understand properly, and practice. That is your guru. And that is what we are saying here all the time, that Gita is your guru. You read it properly, respect the teachings. If you don't understand, try to find somebody who knows more, but God will come and help you to understand if you are sincere. As I have said, all we need is sincerity. If you are not understanding, just understand one thing: you are not sincere, period. If you are sincere, you will get it. But unfortunately, our mind is in 10 different directions. We don't know what we want, we don't know what sincerity is, and so we don't understand. I think Gita can be understood by anyone in this world. All it talks about is nature, be humble, and just do what the animal kingdom is telling, what Adivasis are doing, what people or labor class who are not deceiving, work 8 hours, they earn their bread by their sweat of their brow. If we just do that, that is all we need to do. Yet we have created a havoc in the name of civilization and all the equipment, and we have made more foolish ourselves than we really need to show. So here this is a beautiful slok where God says that while I am the Karta or creator and I am the one who is the father, I am the one who is doing everything inside and out, yet the foolish people keep walking and roaming all over the world saying, we are the leaders, we are the doers, I am in charge, ask me. So this me that Duryodhan and Dhritarashtra is doing is our greatest ignorance. The next thing then Lord says, Tattva vittu mahabhavo guna karma vibhagayoho gunaha guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate. Slok 28 says that those who have realized tattva, tattva means God, tattva means love, tattva means truth, tattva means the real stuff, just like milk is a real tattva of cow. Similarly, what is the tattva or substance of life? Then the substance of life is love or peace or joy. That's what we've been talking about. So those who have realized this thing, they know the difference between gunas, the nature, the actions, the differences, the divisions, and they know that this is a mutual working of sun, moon, light, all five elements. They are working among themselves, and so they don't get attached. They know that we are just simply a child or a doll, and the Lord is pulling the strings. We must humble ourselves that we are just nothing. We are just nothing, even not a particle of sand on the ocean. And yet, most of us want to see that we are everything, we are in charge. This is totally an opposite direction in which we have been taught. Unless we are humble and unless we know that we cannot produce, I cannot produce a single sand particle on the ocean. No scientist in all the universities and all the laboratories and all your factories cannot produce one sand particle today. And yet we say, oh, I have done so much research, I am doing this, I am doing that. So all we are nurturing is ego, and that is what is causing us the problem. So there is a wisdom and there is ignorance. I would like to point out what Lord Buddha is saying about the dark. And dark is ignorance. We stumble in the dark. We have talked often enough that arrogance and ignorance, ahankar is darkness. We are roaming in the darkness. I would like to see what beautiful advice he has for us. He says, some sansaris deny the truth. They don't want to listen to the truth. And another man denies his own actions when he does something evil, like our CEOs and our leaders. They deny that we did not do it. You take to the court, he says, no, they will find the higher, go to the court. Nobody wants to take responsibility. We deny our actions and our evil thoughts. So Buddha Bhagavan says both of them go into the darkness, and they go not only suffering in this life but in the next life also. For they offend the truth, they offend God, they offend peace within their own heart. You may wear the yellow robe, you may become sannyasi, but if you are reckless, you will fall into darkness. All of us are reckless. All of us are reckless. Not one is free from recklessness when we have ego, because ego itself is recklessness. And so you will fall into darkness. If you are reckless, better to swallow a molten iron than eat at the table of good folks. What a punishment he is talking about. If you court another man's wife, you court trouble. You sleep, your sleep will be broken. You will have no peace. You lose your honor. You fall into darkness. You go against the law of Gita or saints, you go into the darkness. Your pleasures end in fear, as we see today. All our pleasures have ended up in fear today. And the king's punishment is harsh. This is the punishment of the Lord. And king means Lord. The punishment is fear, suffering, and insecurity is what we have been experiencing. This is the punishment from the Lord. Don't worry about somebody doing something else. We are not listening to the law, and so we have earthquakes, we have floodings, we have droughts, we have diseases, plagues, and we don't question why things happen to us unwarrantedly or all of a sudden. No, nothing is happening without purpose. There is always action and reaction. Lord reminds us, He punishes us, He tells us what is good, and yet we don't listen. So, this is one of the difficulties of the ignorance, that we don't want to listen. But as a blade of grass held awkwardly, it may cut our own hand. I have cut my own hand with a piece of paper. The sharp edge of the paper sometimes cuts our finger because we do not know how to handle it. We are negligent. And so, our ignorance, our greed, and lust may lead us into the darkness, and we don't even know, because blind people do not know the difference between darkness and light because they have never seen light. This is one of our problems. So, for if your renunciation, if your foolishness, and if you do all these things in ignorance, you are reckless and you will break your word. If your purpose wavers and you are not stable, you will not find light, you will not find peace. Do what you have to do, what we have been teaching in this Gita, what we must do, our duties. Arjuna has to do what he has to do. Do it resolutely with all your heart. Put the whole mind and not working in 10 different directions. The traveler who hesitates only raises dust on the road. We should never hesitate in performing our actions once we have decided with the wisdom and we have consulted the wise people. The goal is that we have to defend this, we know the truth, then we should not hesitate. We should die as a matter of fact but not return. It is better to do nothing than to do what is wrong. For whatever you do it to yourself and nobody else. When we become angry to others, we have become angry with ourselves. If we hurt others, we have hurt ourselves by becoming angry already. We don't know other people are affected or not, but we certainly are affected when we are depressed. So, whatever we think we have done to others, we have done really to ourselves only. Like a border town well guarded, guard yourself within and without. Let not a single moment pass lest you fall into darkness. And not a single moment we are told here to be careless, and imagine how many hours we've been spending watching television, talking nonsense, um, criticizing other people, not minding our own business, thinking about future stock and money, what will happen, thinking about the past. And the Buddha Bhagavan says that let not a single moment pass lest you fall into darkness. And so we don't know the limit of our ignorance until we hear these things. So he says, feel shame only where shame is due. Fear only what is fearful. See evil only in what is evil, lest you mistake the true way and fall into darkness. So we must try to find out what is fearful, what is evil, what is shameful, and we don't want to try to do something that will cause us to fall into the darkness. See what is truth. See what is not truth. Follow the true way that the saints are showing us. Rise, as Sri Krishna Bhagavan says to Arjuna in the second chapter, third slok, that Uttishta Kaunteya, get up. This is what every saint saying in these different words, in different language. Rise, awake, be aware what is happening to you. Your life is passing away. Clock is not stopping, and you will never have this opportunity again. We may never be healthy as we are today. Tomorrow is uncertain. Today is the only thing that we have this very moment, and yet we postpone. We say we will do it tomorrow, not today. Always we find excuse to delay, and then we forget. We are forgetful, and thus we waste our life uh, into the darkness, as Buddha Bhagwan says. So here then, what Sri Krishna Bhagwan has taught us, primarily all these things is due to our ignorance, and we must try to be humble if we are going to be happy. Now, the next slok is again summarizing what Buddha Bhagwan has said. All that I read is put in one slok here, slok 29, how these ignorant sansaris or the worlds prakrutehe guna sammudaha sajjante guna karmasu tan akrutsna vidamandan krutsnavetna vichale. Those who are attached to these toys in this world and they get attached to their actions, they are akutsnavida, they are half knowledge. The knowledge is not complete, that means they are ignorant. They are mandan. Mandan means like animals, they don't move, they don't do it in time, they are slow, they drag their feet. They just cannot think, just like we used to say the buffaloes, buffaloes, even if you kick them, they won't get up. Some people, no matter how much they suffer, how many repeatedly times they have problem, same disease, and yet they don't give up. These are the guys who are called mandan. Tutsna vetna vichalet. Those who are wise should try to lead them into their good, not to distract them, tell them the truth fearlessly, what is their good, how to overcome their problems, and not pamper them and say, no, everything will be all right, just keep going through illusion or superstition or something like that. So, wise people also are advised by Sri Krishna Bhagavan that you be very careful, that you again don't fall into the egoism, because in Maya, even if we think we are wise and we are sattvic, that sattvic is also an ego. And that's why I think Mirabai's wisest advice, that best thing is to constantly stay as a servant, and whatever you want to say, you can say, but remember always that it is the Lord who is handling the show, and you are only a toy in his hand, and you are moving according to the string that he is pulling. If we can remember that we are nothing, nothingness is what our share is, and eternity is what God's share is. This is what the saints have realized, and until we realize that, I think that our ego is going to misdirect us, and we will be going in the direction in which we are going. We can examine what we are doing now, and if we feel that there is something better from this message, then we may try to change according to Gita, like Arjun is going to do. All wise people want to improve their life, and this is the opportunity here to re examine and work for our own good. This is the message of Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Buddha Bhagwan and Mirabai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.